Good afternoon. Today we're going to talk about the marketing research industry. So in this chapter, chapter 2, it went over the marketing research industry. And if you want to know more about a career in the industry, you can check out the Marketing Research Association at www.mra-net.org. And of course, last week we talked about the Occupational Outlook Handbook at the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and that showed really strong growth for marketing research analysts. So some of the topics in the book started with the evolution of the industry. The Industrial Revolution led to manufacturers producing goods for distant markets. And these manufacturers needed to know about their faraway consumers. And this led to the growth in the need for marketing research. The Hahnemann Top 25 report lists the top 25 marketing, advertising, and public opinion research firms ranked in terms of their worldwide revenues received. There are large marketing research firms that serve companies globally, and the largest research firm in the world is the Nielsen Company, headquartered in New York City. The total global spending for the industry hovers around $30 billion. And that may be a little lower in the future because of the worldwide recession. But it's safe to say that it is still a fairly strong industry in terms of its revenues. The Hahnemann Top 50 report lists the top 50 US-based marketing, advertising, and public opinion research firms. And these are ranked in terms of their revenues from US operations only, not worldwide. The Hahnemann company reported that the top 50 US companies had total revenues of slightly under $9 billion. So mergers, acquisitions, and strategic alliances is how these marketing research companies have been growing. So the top 50 growth is attributed to mergers and acquisitions. Mergers and acquisitions allow strategic alliances to form where companies with strong expertise in one area can form partnerships with firms having strong expertise in other areas. And here we see a classification scheme for marketing research services. And you have internal research and external. Let's go into external first. You've got full service or limited service, and full service provide things like syndicated data services, standardized services, customized and online research. Limited service firms provide field services, market segment specialist, data analytics, and specialized research. And these are external to the company, both full service and limited service. They're external to the company that needs the information. They focus on these things and they become experts in them. Some large companies have their own internal marketing research staffs, and they may do some or all of this type of work. Let's start off looking at internal suppliers and discuss them a little bit more. An internal supplier is an organization within a company that supplies marketing research. So again, most large firms like Kraft Foods, IBM, General Mills, and Ford have research departments of their own. They may have a formal department, or they don't necessarily have to have a formal department, but place at least a single individual or a committee in charge of marketing research. And it's also possible that they don't assign anybody with responsibility for conducting marketing research, but they do it on an ad hoc basis. External suppliers are outside firms hired to fulfill a firm's marketing research needs. They can organize by function, things like data analysis or data collection. They can also organize by type of research application, things like advertising effectiveness, new product development, customer satisfaction. They can also organize by geography, domestic versus international, or the type of customer, healthcare, government, telecommunications. A full service supplier firm has the ability to conduct the entire marketing research project for the buyer. Most of the firms listed in the Hahn & Marshall top 25 and top 50 would qualify as full service research firms. Although many companies specialize, they're large enough to offer a full range of services. Syndicated data services collect information that is made available to multiple firms. The information that's collected is provided in a standardized form. It's the same for every company that subscribes to it. It's not tailored to one company. And when it is tailored, that's a different type of research. That's a specific research. So this is known as a syndicated data service because it's standardized and not tailored to one particular company. So as an example, Nielsen collects information on what is sold in supermarkets, and this information is sold to manufacturers of those products who wish to know how their products are selling, as well as the sales and potential competition from their competitors' products. Standardized service firms collect data for each firm, and it's different, but the method to collect the data is standardized. So they collect different data for different companies, but they use the same standardized approaches to collect that data. So Burke's Customer Satisfaction Associates provides the service of measuring customer satisfaction. Merritt's offers a service to help firms develop customer loyalty programs. Other firms offer standardized services such as test marketing, selecting brand names for new products, measuring advertising effectiveness, and things of that nature. A customized service firm offers a variety of research services, and the methods can be tailored to meet specific client needs. Online research service firms specialize in providing services online. Online, the use of computer networks, including the internet, to assist in any phase of the marketing research, including the development of the problem, research design, data gathering, analysis, and report distribution. Let's look at the other branch of external, and that is limited service supplier firms. They specialize in one or at most a few marketing research activities, such as eye tracking, mystery shopping, field services where they do data collection, or They're market segment specialists. A field service firm specializes in collecting data. They typically operate in a particular area, conducting telephone surveys, focus group interviews, mall intercept surveys, and door-to-door surveys. Some firms, such as Marketing Inc., are known as phone banks because they specialize in telephone surveying. Some other types of firms, data analysis firms, provide assistance needed to analyze and interpret data using sophisticated techniques. We also have specialized firms providing assistance through expertise in special techniques like eye tracking, for example. So some of the challenges facing the research industry, issues with the economy. Obviously, with the lockdown, there's been a worldwide recession. And it looks like a return to a vibrant economy may be years away. Hopefully not, but it may be that it's years away. So surviving marketing research firms will have to demonstrate their value added from their services more than ever. Challenge 2 is customer cooperation. There's been a drop in the response rates for surveys, both mail surveys and mall surveys, telephone surveys. And they're echoing the concern from the industry about falling customer cooperation. Many firms are creating panels to offset low response rates. Researchers have to treat customers ethically to preserve future response rates and combat the growing resentment from customers. The third challenge is that marketing research no longer represents the voice of the consumer. Some people believe that lower prices will move consumers from the former role of understanding consumers in marketing, and that will become less important. So in other words, lower prices is what's going to mean, what'll motivate consumers. And so the former role of understanding consumers in marketing is not going to be as important because lower prices are the driving factor these days. So marketing is now being viewed as an after-the-fact promotional tool to move goods, and therefore is no longer including consumers in the process. The fourth challenge is marketing research is parochial. So several critics of marketing research believe it is too isolated with too narrow a focus. Too often, marketing research reports to lower levels of the firm and is not part of the strategic planning process. The fifth challenge is that marketing research operates in a silo. So marketing research fails to communicate with other entities within the firm. Marketing research could add value to other departments as well, but it must break down the silos. Challenge 6, marketing research is too tool-oriented. Some criticize that marketing researchers create tools and instead of trying to diagnose the market, come up with creative solutions, which they need to come up with. Instead of doing those things, they screen through issues until they find one which they can apply one of their tools. And that's why I think it's more beneficial for us to use Excel than some of these other tools, because with Excel, we're not going to necessarily look for problems we can solve with Excel. It's a real general purpose tool that can be used in across the organization, in finance and human resources and so on. So it's so multi-purposed that it's not going to be something, well, we'll find a problem that we can solve with Excel. There's a lot of problems that can be solved with Excel, so we can really tackle just about any of the issues with Excel. And challenge 7 is that researchers should use more information technology. As globalization continues, marketing researchers can add more value, providing the same information faster and at a lower cost. And this is why online research has become a significant factor in the research industry. But being able to get information from Twitter, Facebook, Google, and so on is presents some technical challenges to these companies. So, certification and education. Although the industry has done well and has proven its value, it can't be complacent. So two areas where the industry is seeking self-improvement are certification and education. With education, there are many opportunities for members of the industry to learn more about their profession. The Burke Institute has trained thousands of practitioners over the years, and several university and colleges now offer master's degrees in marketing research. And programs are available at, for example, Southern Illinois University and University of Texas at Arlington. So, ethics and marketing research. Ethics is the behaviors that are deemed appropriate. So society is going to determine what is ethical and what is not ethical in its own culture. And some behavior is deemed to be so wrong that it's made illegal by statute. So your ethical views are shaped by your philosophy. And with deontology, that's concerned with the rights of the individual. If the rights of the individual are violated, then the behavior is not ethical. On the other hand, you have teleology, and that analyzes a particular behavior in terms of its benefits and costs to society. If there are individual costs, but the group benefits are greater, then there are net gains and the behavior is judged to be ethical. Trade associations or professional organizations will often prescribe a code of ethical behavior. So there is ethical behavior in marketing research. The American Marketing Association has a code of ethics. The Council of American Survey Research Organizations, CASRO, has a code of ethics. And Quality Research Consultants, QRCA, has a code of ethics as well. So one thing that is considered unethical is sugging. And sugging refers to selling under the guise of a survey. So typically sugging occurs when a researcher gains a respondent's cooperation to participate in a research study and then uses the opportunity to attempt to sell the respondent a good or service or ask for a donation to their nonprofit. Frugging is closely related to sugging and stands for fundraising under the guise of a survey. Because frugging does not involve the sale of a product or service, it's not covered by the Telemarketing and Consumer Fraud and Abuse Act of 1994, but it's also considered to be unethical. So, the loss of research integrity is defined as performing research that adheres to accepted standards. And if you don't do that, then you've lost some of that research integrity. So research integrity is performing research that adheres to accepted standards, and you can lose that by withholding information to management that you feel they may not be happy with, falsifying data to, again, give management what they're looking for, altering research results, and misinterpreting the research findings in a way that makes them more consistent with some predetermined point of view. Passing hidden charges to your customers who are hiring your firm to do marketing research is another area that is a problem. We have to treat the buyers fairly. You also have a set of requirements that the buyers give you. You can't overlook these study requirements when subcontracting work out to other supplier firms. And another area of ethical concern is selling unnecessary research. And these are all examples of unfair treatment of buyer companies. You can also, on the customer side, be unethical, and you can do things like produce a phony RFP or request for proposal. So you'll put out your set of requirements and you'll ask the various marketing research companies to prepare a bid that explains how they're going to do this research and how much it would cost. You as the consumer company had no intention of ever hiring one of these marketing research companies, but you wanted to get them to set up the project for you and to give you some initial cost estimates so that you didn't have to do that work yourself. So having collected, these are known as phony RFPs, and having collected several requests for proposals which outline research designs and cost, the abusing consumer decides to do the job internally. So issuing a call for proposals from external firms with no intention of doing the job outside is unethical behavior. Oftentimes, buyer firms have obligations such as agreeing to meetings or the provisions of materials needed for a research project. Sometimes they don't attend the meetings, they don't provide the materials that are part of the contract to hire the firm. And so that again is unethical behavior. You have to honor the time and money agreements that were made. Another area in research integrity that may be, well, where we have the need to treat others fairly is sometimes researchers are asked to do research on products thought to be dangerous to society. Marketing researchers have expressed concerns over conducting research on advertising to children, for example. then another area, a final area where we can have this need to treat, others fairly, is marketing researchers have to honor promises made to respondents that the respondent's identity will remain confidential or anonymous. If they don't do that, they won't get cooperation in the future from respondents to help them gather information about the research topics. Okay, well, that's it for today. Any questions? Okay, see you next Monday.